Here we have
Chaos.
And
Chaos!
And
Chaos!
And a
Chaos!
And
Chaos!
And
Chaos.
But what does that spell? K-A-O-S.
Behold, it is I, Chaos! Long have I waited for this day to take my revenge! Soon you will all bow down before me! Chaos! K-A-O-S!
What is going on, everybody? Here today we are finally, thanks to reaching that 500 subscriber goal, going to be revamping one of the most popular videos, strongest versions of Chaos. Albeit with a little twist, because you see, my dear subscribers, I let all of you vote who goes where, so if you don't like a placement on this list, too bad you should have voted. But in all honesty, thank you for your support on the community tab, and thank you for subscribing. You are the reason this video was made possible. And having said that, I want to give a big shout out to Dark Knight 2951, as a lot of information he has left on my Chaos polls is going to be used here in this video here today. And one other thing before we get into it here today, I just want to let you know that I apologize if this video isn't as glamorous as I wanted it to be, because I have another project in the works. It's going to come at the end of Skylander month, and I do hope you enjoy it when it comes out. So I'm sure to no one's surprise, in 7th and last place, and the weakest version of Chaos to date, we have Netflix Chaos. I know, what a shocker, right? But allow me to explain. You see, Netflix Chaos is very similar in regards to regular Chaos from the Skylanders games, okay? And has even been shown to be able to use all 10 elements, but also is very, you know, he sucks. He sucks at them. He's not skilled whatsoever. He also has the 10 battle classes, he sucks at that too. He is not a competent fighter, okay? But you know, as I said in the last video, and I think it still holds up to this day, Chaos in this series is a comedy character, and therefore is more often than not played off as a joke. Now that's not to say he's completely defenseless, because he does have some dark magical abilities that he uses from time to time, but frankly he has no strength or durability feats to speak of. I mean, even in all the games, he is definitely arrogant and foolish a lot of the time, but it's as if they only took those aspects of him and made it into this character. The closest Netflix Chaos to displaying true levels of power was when he was given a boost in Season 3 by Strikor, but frankly, with what little we have to go off of, this version of Chaos, and how foolish and idiotic he is shown to have been, he is staying at the bottom of this list. Now, coming in at number 6 is a very big disappointment of mine, because he was a personal favorite. We have Emperor Chaos. Now, while Emperor Chaos is definitely one of the better written versions of Chaos, he's nowhere near the strongest. Now, let me explain. Emperor Chaos is essentially just the normal form of Chaos, having been boosted by the powers of the darkness, giving him new dark abilities as he's been shown to have used. But anyways, Emperor Chaos in this new form has been shown to be able to teleport, create clones of himself, create large energy spheres, which are definitely not the Spirit Bomb. Definitely not. Shield himself, and also has telekinetic abilities, but however, with this new power, it's not infinite. It can run out if he takes too much damage. So basically, all you have to do to depower him is just punch him really, really hard. Great weakness to have. It's also safe to assume while he's in this new Emperor Darkness form that he can't use any of his previous abilities. Otherwise, why wouldn't he? This is like the battle for the end of all days. Why wouldn't he use his entire arsenal at his disposal? So my thought is, while he's getting his powers from the darkness, he can only use the powers the darkness possesses. Hence, not any of his magical elemental abilities he had previously. So while I previously believed that this form was just a direct enhancement of all of Chaos's abilities, I now realize it's probably more of a replacement of them, keeping him in the 6th place on the list. So then, having said that, getting into our 5th place on the list, we have, frankly, an obvious choice, Kaos, from Skylander Spyro's Adventure, and the definitive first time we've ever met this little guy. Now, I'm gonna need you to pay attention for this, because we're taking this version of Chaos at the height of his power, okay? Just follow along and hopefully it all makes sense. Now, Chaos, in his base form, he has access to all 10 elements and is skilled in all 10 battle classes as shown by Sensei Chaos. Now I know in the previous video I treated these two entities as separate beings, but since they're technically one of the same, I will treat them as such. This version of Kaos, at the height of his potential, what has he done? Well, this version of Kaos can heal himself, summon Doom Sharks, and even Doomlanders, although not to the degree of Super Kaos, but he can still do it. He also has been able to use telekinesis. He can summon his giant floating head that shoots laser beams out of its eyes, and surprisingly enough, Kaos does have an impressive durability feat when he shrugged off Mount Cloudbreak's eruption. Let me put that into perspective for a second. A volcano with 100 years worth of magic stored up in it, he shrugged it off. Glumshanks, however, was not so lucky.
In the arms of the angel.
But overall, Kaos in his base form has more than enough combat diversity to give any enemy a run for their money and definitely a dash for the hills. So closing out our section of normal Kaoses, let's close out of our number 5 spot, getting into number 4, because we have Robo Chaos. Robo Chaos is a version of Kaos that has assumed the power of the long-lost Fist of Arcus, and it has turned it into the biggest, most powerful robot in all of Skyland, standing roughly about 50 feet in height. Now from this point onward, it's going to be nothing but significantly altered and transformed versions of Kaos, and you have this guy to thank for it because he is the OG. With the power given to him by the Gauntlet, Kaos now has a wide variety of powers and abilities, such as shooting lasers from his eyes, summoning warriors with the palm of his hand, having a secondary laser in the Gauntlet itself, showing immense durability after shrugging off an avalanche of boulders, and even having decent hand-to-hand combat skills when he fought with another Archean mech. And let me tell you, he dominated over that thing. If it wasn't for the Skylanders interfering, he would have crushed it. Unfortunately though, Robo Chaos does have one very big weakness, his Gauntlet. You see, if it takes too much damage, it will revert him back to his normal form, and unfortunately it is a very, very large and easily accessible part of his body, so yeah. But this weakness would be a non-issue if it wasn't for Kaos's ego and he just let his Archean minions do the work for him. Therefore, there would be no risk of his Gauntlet getting destroyed. But whatever. Getting into our top 3 now, this is where it truly gets insane for Kaos. Coming in at number 3, we have Super Evil Kaos. And let me tell you, you thought Robo Chaos was big at 50 feet tall? Super Evil Kaos is nearly 5,000 feet tall. He would just step on Robo Chaos and it would be over. But aside from that, Super Evil Kaos is also able of creating monsters and minions with just a thought. Or at the very least, inside of his mind. We don't know if he can do it outside of his mind, as the game never showed us if he could, but we know he can to some degree at least. Super Evil Chaos is also able to fire large bursts of dark energy out of his hands, similar to Vegeta's Galagun, if you're a Dragon Ball fan. He can create massive shockwaves with just the stamp of his feet and his jaw. And thanks to the petrified darkness now making up a good portion of Kaos's body, it has significantly increased his strength and durability. Also, Kaos's brain has been enhanced by the petrified darkness, making him relatively more intelligent and more creative. Unlike a certain other version of Kaos we've yet to get to on this list. But we will get to him when we get to him. The only real weakness this version of Kaos actually has is the fact that if you destroy most of his petrified darkness on his body, he will revert back to normal, but considering some of it is literally inside his head, it is highly unlikely that anyone would be able to pull that off. But moving into number 2, we have Super Kaos. Super Chaos is quite literally a case of someone being given the powers of God and all they think to do with it is make a sandwich. Super Chaos in this form, mind magic, fully enhanced, at his disposal. What does he do with it? He makes a bunch of Doomlanders, makes some shockwaves, and that's about it. He literally could do anything he wanted to, and that's all he thinks to do. He has, in this form, no limitations. This is all he does with it. Oh my god, he could wipe everything from existence if he could even fathom that. And But okay, angry rant aside, I will give Super Chaos some credit here in regards to his Doomlanders. Each one of them was a boss all on their own and much more powerful than any standard Skylanders, so to be able to spam tons of them would essentially be saying you have nothing but elite Skylanders at your disposal. For those who don't know what elite Skylanders are, they're basically regular Skylanders, but 3 times stronger. So even as limiting as Super Chaos's creativity is, at the very least, his minions are some of the best he has ever had in any of the games, considering how strong they should be. And it also helps that he has one from each battle class, giving him plenty of combat diversity at least. But you know what? Having said all that, let's get into our strongest and definitive, most powerful version of Chaos. Drumroll, please. Traptanium Chaos from Skylanders Trap Team. Traptanium Chaos is if Super Chaos was a genius. Even at his lowest and earliest stage of power, Chaos was able to see past the fourth wall of his own existence and talk directly to the Portal Master. Later after that, Chaos's body took on a Traptanium form, which is a powerful and durable substance that can only be broken by Traptanium itself or anything stronger. While Chaos is in his Traptanium form, he just continuously grows more and more powerful with each passing second, developing new weapons and attacks and even sprouting Traptanium wings. It's safe to say if left unchecked, Chaos could have become the most powerful being in Skyland's existence. And even in just a short fight, he managed to vastly improve upon his pre-existing abilities and develop new ones as he fought. Going down his list of abilities that we've seen thus far, he could create Doom Sharks, Elemental Bullets, Traptanium Swords. Heck, in his final form, he flew so fast, the swords created shockwaves on their own. And not to mention, he was confident in his ability to rip the Portal Master from their reality into the game. And you know what? He nearly succeeded. He did pull inanimate objects into the game, so it's not hard to believe that if he was even more powerful over time, he could have done it. Which, when you think about it, makes Traptanium Chaos a multi-dimensional threat if he can so casually alter other realities or even enter them or pull things from them. And going off of that, theoretically, over enough time, he would probably be able to even surpass the likes of Super Chaos, if Super Chaos ever got a handle on his creativity with, infinite power. But the thing about Traptanium Chaos is, it significantly enhances his mind. So he is basically Super Chaos if Super Chaos was perfect. But you know what? I think that's going to do it for this video here today. If you've been enjoying Skylander Month, and if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments, like the video, and feel free to subscribe on that little red button down there below. I hope you all stick around until the end of Skylander Month, but until then, take care.